In today's episode of Vishwakul, from setback to strategy, Adani's petrochemical journey. Adani is back in the petrochemicals game. They've just announced a joint venture with Thailand's Indorama Resources to create Valor Petrochemicals Limited, with plans to build large-scale petrochemical plants in India. It's a bold move for a company that's had a few false starts in the sector. Back in 2021, Adani revealed plans for a massive 34,900 crore rupees coal-to-PVC plant in Mundra, Gujarat. The goal was to produce 2 million tons of PVC each year and cut down on India's reliance on imports, which currently meet nearly 60% of the country's PVC demand. But things stalled in 2023 after the Hindenburg report brought financial scrutiny to the group, forcing them to put the project on hold. They had even tried to secure 15,000 crore rupees in funding from SBI, but that didn't go anywhere. Now, with Indorama's expertise, Adani seems ready to finally get this project off the ground. But what exactly are petrochemicals? And why is Adani getting into the space where Reliance is already the biggest player? Source: Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizer. Petrochemicals are chemical products made from hydrocarbons, which usually come from crude oil or natural gas. In simple terms, they're the building blocks of modern life. We use petrochemicals every day. They're in plastics, textiles, packaging, medicines, electronics, detergents, construction materials, and so many other things we rely on. Here's how it works. When crude oil is refined, the main goal is to make fuels like petrol, diesel, and aviation fuel. But this process also creates byproducts like naphtha, ethane, and propane. These byproducts are the raw materials for petrochemicals. They're processed further to produce things like ethylene, propylene, and benzene, which are essential for making plastics, synthetic rubber, and a lot more. Source: IEA. Take Indian Oil Corporation, for example. They've been focusing on increasing their petrochemical intensity, which simply means converting more of their crude oil into petrochemicals instead of low-margin fuels. Reliance Industries has already perfected this approach. Their Jamnagar facility isn't just the world's largest refinery, it's also a fully integrated petrochemical complex with a massive capacity of 30 million tons per year. This is why refineries and petrochemical plants are increasingly being built together. It's cheaper, more efficient, and makes good business sense. India is in a great position for a petrochemical boom. Right now, the country's per capita petrochemical consumption is just 10 kilograms, only one-third of the global average of 30 kilograms. Source: Kani. This gap highlights the huge potential for growth as incomes rise, cities expand, and industries grow. Sectors like packaging, textiles, construction, and automotive are driving this demand. The Indian government is well aware of the opportunity. Plans are already underway to double India's petrochemical capacity to 46 million tons per year by 2030. This isn't just about meeting domestic demand but also reducing reliance on imports. Right now, India imports 60% of its PVC needs and spends around $87 billion annually on chemical imports. But this growth doesn't come without challenges. India heavily depends on refinery-integrated petrochemical production, which makes up 80% of its output. While this approach is cost-efficient, it also means India still imports many high-value specialty chemicals that are used in downstream industries. The petrochemical industry is attractive because it's far more profitable than refining crude oil into fuels like petrol and diesel, which is a low-margin business. Turning feedstocks like naphtha into ethylene and propylene, on the other hand, offers much better returns. This is why oil refiners worldwide are shifting their focus to petrochemicals. According to a study by McKinsey, petrochemicals could make up as much as 80% of new refining capacity investments globally as companies prepare for the future. The International Energy Agency, IEA, predicts that petrochemicals will be the fastest growing segment of oil demand through 2030. While the demand for fuels is slowing down due to electric vehicles and renewable energy, petrochemicals are essential. From the plastic casing of your smartphone to the polymers in wind turbine blades, petrochemicals are the backbone of modern manufacturing. India's petrochemical ambitions, however, face tough competition. The Middle East has a natural advantage with abundant natural gas for feedstock, and China is a dominant player both in production and consumption. But China's recent economic slowdown has created excess capacity, leading to cheaper exports that often flood markets like India. Source: McKinsey. A report by ICRA highlights how overseas producers dumping cheaper products in the Indian market has put pressure on the margins of Indian manufacturers. At the same time, sustainability is reshaping the petrochemical industry. The global push for a circular economy, reducing plastic waste and reusing materials, is driving companies to innovate. For India, this presents both a challenge and an opportunity to move toward more sustainable petrochemical production. For companies like Reliance, Indian Oil Corporation, and now Adani, expanding into petrochemicals makes perfect sense. With demand for transport fuels leveling off, these firms are using their existing refinery infrastructure to produce higher margin petrochemicals. Reliance's Jamnagar complex is a prime example of this strategy, combining refining and petrochemical production to maximize profits. Adani's new venture with Indorama follows this trend. By focusing on petrochemicals, the group isn't just diversifying its business but also positioning itself in a high-growth industry. Tidbits. Vegetarian thali prices rose 6% year-on-year to 31 rupees and 60 paise in December, while non-vegetarian thali prices jumped 12% to 63 rupees and 30 paise. This increase was mainly due to higher costs of potatoes, tomatoes, and chicken. On a month-to-month basis, veg thali prices dropped 3%, but non-veg thali went up by 3%, reflecting ongoing food inflation challenges. The second phase of the PLI scheme for specialty steel, with a budget of 6,322 crore rupees, aims to reduce imports and boost self-reliance. By lowering investment requirements, the scheme focuses on increasing downstream production capacity and positioning India as a global leader in this sector. Nuvoco Vistas has acquired Vidraj Cement, adding 6 million tons per annum (MTPA) to its capacity, bringing the total to 31 MTPA. With phased refurbishments planned, this deal strengthens Nuvoco's position as India's fifth largest cement producer. Thank you for reading. Do share this with your friends and make them as smart as you are. Winking Face. Join the discussion on today's edition here.